Was on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up the street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats. Law enforcement on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home, in particular, registered not only Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters.
They are heavily armed, and they've been very tactful, would probably be the best word to use, as they made entry into this home this afternoon. We actually watched them as they made their way through one of these side gates, and as soon as they got inside the home, one of the first things they did was made their way into this garage that you see is open right there. They did take a couple people into custody. We witnessed that. Now, are they under arrest? Are they just being asked about what they know? That I can't answer, but I can tell you there's 3 people right there were taken into custody. We're inside that home at the time.
These underground tunnels, treehouses, and playgrounds are all under investigation. Feds have announced that Diddy's tunnels have been found and are now being searched, and a strange Snapchat appeared on Snap Map around the time of this announcement. It's tagged at the location of the Playboy Mansion in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles, California. The snap appears to show the tunnels everybody thought existed, and now we have confirmation through the feds. It appears someone goes into an underground tunnel, and then they discover strange dolls hanging from the ceiling. Each of the dolls appears to have different names on them, written Bryce Shear, Justin, Usher, and Jada.
And actually built tunnels that connected the Playboy Mansion to the homes of these movie stars back in the 70s. These were discovered recently and evolved at the Playboy Mansion. John, this is not a joke. These are real blueprints. If you zoom in on the blue, now, okay, what we have here is on one side of it, there's the Playboy Mansion. On the other side of it, there's Warren Beatty's house, and they've constructed a blueprint for a tunnel to connect the 2 of them. Now, Jack Nicholson was Warren Beatty's neighbor, so he had his own little offshoot. James Caan, so this, he lived off in the other direction. The blueprints actually have their names on them. Bound tunnel to Mr. J. Nicholson Rest.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So, I mean, was it like you move into the Neighborhood Association and says like, hey, and by the way, we'll build you a tunnel directly to the Playboy Mansion?
Do you think, I mean, these guys were having the party of their life. These tunnels, now, the reason that this was come across is that Playboy, the publishers of Playboy now, were researching an article about the 70th birthday, or an article about the history of Playboy and the history of Hugh Hefner, and they were going through old photos, and they found some photos of construction happening that were these tunnels, and they went to ask the current general manager of the Playboy Mansion, and this is what they said. Playboy.com published this. We asked the new general manager at the mansion about these photos. He said, very matter-of-factly, that's probably when they built the tunnels in the 70s.
Tunnels from Diddy's house led to Hugh Hefner's house. That naked pool was down there long before Diddy was able to buy a home. It was Hugh Hefner's house where most of the offenses that the women accused Bill Cosby of took place. And everybody know Hugh Hefner was filming, had cameras in the wall. I don't know. Did anybody ever ask whether or not Bill Cosby had a freak off tape? Next thing you know, his son is dying. Next thing you know, all kinds of weird things keep on happening. All of that fame, all of that success, they really wanted to take him down. But all of this, they should have did it in the late 80s or the early 90s. Camille Cosby co-owned YouTube, that are friends with the monster, Leroy Cohen, that mentored him backstage. Camille is a Rothschild. It's funny nobody wants to seem to admit it. Or the oil that was supposed to have been under that property that was sold through a private this or a private that, and so on and so forth.
Hey, didn't we have a former president or a presidential candidate who was involved with Diddy and was associated with the Playboy Mansion? Who could that be? It seems like Jaguar Wright has already predicted all of this. She really knows what she's talking about. Having been close to people like Diddy and Jay-Z.
The Game Planet reported on Monday that Homeland Security agents raided rapper Sean Diddy Combs' $40 million mansion as a part of an ongoing sex trafficking investigation. Combs was notably missing during the raid and was reportedly in Miami when the raid took place. The Los Angeles Times reported that Combs' mansion, located in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles, measures 17,000 square feet and has 3,000 square foot guest house. Insane, considering the fact that most houses aren't even 3,000 square feet, just to put the size and the magnitude of how wealthy these people are. The outlet also noted Combs' mansion had an underwater swimming tunnel that connects to a grotto. And the question is, what else was there? Now, the reason why I bring this up is something important. Even Mike Cernovich, who's a popular commentator, said, this is pretty interesting. It had this underwater tunnel. Is that? Why are they mentioning that? And what could it have possibly led to? It made me think about something really important. Now, there is a common story here from People magazine. You can also find this from Yahoo News. This is not some sort of celebrity gossip. This is something that's been discussed. But the question is, what was happening at P. Diddy's mansion? Apparently, people were touching each other's P. Diddy's. We're doing it illegally while drugging each other. Now, that's all alleged, and that's what's happening. Now, I know this is continuing to happen because just a moment, a very important revelation happened. Law and Crime Network brought up that new body cam footage shows the alleged drug mule for hip-hop mogul P. Diddy getting arrested on Monday at Miami Airport. For Syracuse basketball player Brendan Paul was placed into cuffs and faces 2 felony charges. Paul's arrest comes after Diddy's home in Los Angeles and Miami were raided. You can see the video here of him being put into a squad car, which I will not make full screen because it's just annoying white noise in the background. What I'm seeing here is possibly a mop-up. It looks like law enforcement, government officials, media moguls were all involved in some sort of a massive sexploitation operation in his home. Very similar to what we saw on Jeffrey Epstein's island. But did we get any answers? Do we know Epstein's client list? Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, very likely Mossad agents running a foreign intelligence operation to blackmail our citizens and our politicians. Why does Israel have an interest in this? Why does the CIA possibly have an interest in this? Well, you know why. We're not stupid.
Now that the secret is out, everyone can't stop discussing the rumored sex trafficking tunnels allegedly used by him to transport truckloads of minors.
So, as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you feel like, yeah, this is yours. It's a little dusty, but I shot it.
Man. Minute. Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come out, you gotta, wear your seatbelt.
I mean, I'm 15. You can ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet. All right, 16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Judge.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours. When you get 16, you're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah. And then when you get 18, you get the house.
This old video featuring Bieber and Diddy might ring a bell. Do you remember when he refused to say where he was taking that poor kid for 2 days? You can clearly see the fear in Bieber's eyes, and yet no one seems to care.
Guys, just a quick video, guys. This is from the White House. Does that look like children being rescued? The video is very weak, but you can see that there's an adult and maybe some smaller sized individuals, like children. And this is possibly when it went dark. I don't know what's going on, guys. Children coming out of the White House.
Diddy was running an operation that could only be compared to Epstein's island, and just like Epstein's clientele, it attracted all kinds of elites. So why else would there be tunnels beneath the White House?
Case in Manhattan Beach, California. The children there claimed there were tunnels under the school. They were taken into the tunnels and through the tunnels up into the trap door of a bathroom in a triplex next door, placed in automobiles, and prostituted in the community. These are 2, 3, and 4-year-old children before they entered kindergarten. In addition, the children claimed that they were flown into the mountains where they were involved with adults in robes, black robes, chanting candles. They talked about the brown babies who were cut up, actually sacrificed. And in checking into this and researching this, of course, this was obviously a satanic ceremony. The Martin family, who owned the preschool, they were tried of Ray Bucky and his grandmother. The grandmother was acquitted, hung jury on Ray Bucky. The second trial, another hung jury. I had an opportunity in 1990 to gain control of the school. Now, the school had been...
Now, mind you, this is described as an evacuation plan, but it's a different kind of evacuation, if you catch my drift. Did someone mention satanic rituals? Because that's exactly what the video of Diddy's tunnel suggests. Here's where things get really shady, just like Epstein. It looks like Diddy is going to be left to take the fall alone. The government is already crafting a narrative similar to Epstein's for him. This man has been placed on suicide watch, just like Epstein was. And everyone is wondering, do you really think the government won't try to silence him? Considering all the influential people he's associated with over the years, listen closely, it's an election year, and I guarantee Diddy will be in serious danger before the November elections. There's no way they're going to let him testify about former presidents and presidential candidates. This guy is going to be jailed by the same people who jailed Epstein, and we're likely going to lose faith that he'll ever see the inside of a courtroom because, let's be real, it's probably not going to happen.